Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 9, Text 30, Translation. Sri Shukadeva Goswami said, "My dear king, when all the demigods offered him their prayers, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Hari, carrying his weapons, the conch shell, disc and club, appeared first within their hearts and then before them." Text 20, text 30, text 29 and 30. Atmatulyay Shudashabir Vina Shivatsa Kaustubau Paryupasita Munidra Sharadamburu Hekshanam Drishtvatam Avanau Sarva Ikshanakhlada Viklavaha Dandavat Patitarajan Jannairutaya Tushtuvuhu. Translation. Surrounding and serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayan, were 16 personal attendants decorated with ornaments and appearing exactly like him, but without the mark of Shrivatsa and the Kaustuba jewel. O king, when all the demigods saw the Supreme Lord in that posture, smiling with eyes like the petals of lotuses grown in autumn, they were overwhelmed with happiness and immediately fell down like rods, offering dandavats. Then they slowly rose and pleased the Lord by offering him prayers. Purport. In Vaikuntha-loka, the Supreme Personality of Godhead has 4 hands and decorations like the Shrivatsa mark on his chest and the gem known as Kaustuba. These are special indications of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Lord's personal attendants and other devotees in Vaikuntha have the same features except for the Shrivatsa mark and the Kaustuba gem. Text 31. Shri Deva Uchuhu Namaste Yagya Viryaya Vayase Utate Namaha Namaste Hyasta Chakraya Namasu Purahutaye. The demigod said, "O Supreme Personality of Godhead, you are competent to give the results of sacrifice, and you are also the time factor that destroys all such results in due course. You are the one who releases the chakra to kill the demons. O Lord, who possesses many varieties of names, we offer our respectful obeisances unto you." Text 32. Yate gatinam tisrinam ishitu paramam Ishitu paramam padam narvachino visargasya dhaturveditum arhati. O Supreme Controller, you control the 3 destinations: promotion to the heavenly planets, birth as a human being, and condemnation in hell. Yet your supreme abode is Vaikuntha Dhama. Since we appeared after you created this cosmic manifestation, your activities are impossible for us to understand. We therefore have nothing to offer you but our humble obeisances. Purport. An experienced man generally does not know what to beg from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Everyone is under the jurisdiction of the created material world, and no one knows what benediction to ask when praying to the Supreme Lord. People generally pray to be promoted to the heavenly planets, because they have no information of Vaikuntha Loka. Srila Madhvacharya quotes the following verse: Deva lokat pitri lokat nirayachcha piyat param tisripya paramam sthanam vaishnavam vidusham gatihi. There are different planetary systems known as Devaloka, the planets of the demigods, Pitriloka, the planet of the Pitas, and Niraya, the hellish planets. When one transcends these various planetary systems and enters Vaikuntha Loka, he achieves the ultimate resort of the Vaishnavas. Vaishnavas have nothing to do with the other planetary systems. So this chapter is called The Appearance of the Demon Vritrasura, and the section we are reading is when demigods start to offer prayers to the Supreme Lord. And what is interesting about the prayers to the Lord is that they are full of amazing knowledge about the Supreme Lord. They give so much information about the Supreme Lord. We can learn so much about the Lord's glories, Lord's qualities, Lord's forms, Lord's pastimes, and Lord's names. So here, in the verse 31, they say that you are competent to give the results of sacrifice, and you are the time factor that destroys all such results in due course. Then you are the one who releases the chakra to kill the demons. So yesterday we spoke about Lord Parashurama in the evening, and he killed impious kings 21 times, the Kshatriyas. So what usually demigods and also devotees do when they offer prayers, they glorify the Lord, they explain His extraordinary power, and then they say, and therefore we offer our respectful obeisances unto you. So in one sense, they are making a case why they have such a highly respectful attitude by giving evidence. Why we respect the Lord so much? It's because He has so many amazing qualities. These are inconceivable qualities. And one interesting thing in the first verse that we read, verse 28, doesn't have a purport, but there is one interesting thing in the verse, is that it says that the Lord first appeared within their hearts and then before them. So we may say that if someone becomes aware of the super soul in his heart, then it's much easier to see the Lord also, even maybe in front of him. Like Dhruva Maharaj was also meditating on the Lord in his heart, and then at one point the Lord appeared in front of him. Also, the similar thing happened with Narada Muni. He was also meditating on the Lord in his heart, then he appeared in front of him, then he disappeared again. So it's very important to connect with the Lord in the heart. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, I am situated in the heart of all living entities, and from me come forgetfulness, remembrance, remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness come from me. And we know that all the intelligence, all the inspiration, amazing intelligence comes from the Lord. And sometimes it's good to try to listen to the Lord in the heart. we usually have the mind talking within our head. And devotees sometimes ask, how do I know that what I hear in my head is coming from the Lord or is coming from the Supersoul? So how do we know if what we are hearing in our head is coming from the Lord or is coming from the Supersoul? What do you think? Yeah.
From the mind or from...
From the mind or from the Supersoul?
From the mind.
Can you repeat?
Most of the time.
How do we know that what we hear in our head is coming from our conditioned mind or it's coming from the Supersoul?
Depends on sincerity of the practitioner.
Huh?
Depending on the sincerity of the practitioner.
It depends on the sincerity of the practitioner what one will hear. Like that?
No, if you are sincere, what you hear will be inspired by Krishna. If you are not, it will be inspired by the mind.
If you are sincere, what you hear will be inspired by Krishna, and if you are not, it will be inspired by the mind. Is that okay?
Maybe. I think if we
Prabhupada said that.
may do sincere, but have to some desires by the mind, no?
Desires?
Some thinkings that don't came from the super soul, no?
But I mean, do you in your daily life, do you ever ask yourself, what is going on in my head and who is talking to me in my head? Is this a super soul or is this my soul or is this my conditioned mind? And how do we make distinction? I agree that sincerity is necessary to hear the super soul, definitely. But how do you make distinction? How do you know what is what?
I think it's a different kind of energy, isn't it?
Different kind?
Kind of energy, different kind.
Different kind of energy.
Yeah. I mean, most of the time we are listening to the mind, I think, isn't it?
I don't know, you know better what you are listening.
But the mind is more kind of gratifying, selfish.
Selfish?
Energy.
That's interesting.
Right.
Selfish.
Yeah.
The mind is saying something that is usually selfish. And the super soul would say something that is selfless.
Kind of serene place.
It's very important to hear the Lord in the heart, to be guided by the Lord in the heart. Like Arjuna says to Krishna, please drive my chariot. So similarly we can pray to the super soul, please guide me. No?
Sorry, Prabhu. You speak very low.
I don't speak low.
If you speak a little bit higher up with the microphone, we can barely hear the class.
And now? Now is okay? Now
Please.
it's too loud now.
Thank you. If you can do.
Hare Krishna. So it's very important to hear the super soul in the heart and to sometimes think, to ask ourselves who is talking in my head. And so to have what kind of inner dialogue I have. And therefore we can talk to the super soul and we can also talk to our mind. And we can ask our mind, please engage in Krishna service, don't distract me. Don't push me to do things that are not Krishna conscious, and in this way that are not for my ultimate benefit. So now, one way to make a distinction is if you know the scriptures, then you will know what is Krishna conscious. Suggestion. Shishigod Jaya. Ki Jaya. if we know the scriptures, we will know that what we hear is either it's Krishna conscious or not Krishna conscious. And sometimes it's tricky, you're not sure. It may sound to be Krishna conscious, but it may be, for example, fanatical, which is not Krishna conscious. If you're fanatical, you can quote Shastra, but you can be fanatical and it can be Maya. Or you can quote Shastra to justify your sense gratification, your material desires. And to say, oh yeah, Prabhupada said, yeah, we can do this, we can do that, or Shastra said this, and this devotee did that, and this devotee did that. And you can always find excuses to make compromise. To make compromise with Maya. But yesterday I did a little research. It says human life is meant. The research, human life is meant for tapasya. It says human life is meant for tapasya. So tapasya is not very popular actually amongst conditioned souls. And also amongst devotees is not too popular. Like you don't have too many devotees excited about all kinds of tapasya. And what we can say that tapasya is voluntary accepting some inconvenience for a higher benefit or for a higher goal. And this is what Prabhupada taught us. It said, Rishi Maharaj Shabadav said, Tapo divyam putraka yena shudyat sattvam brahma sokyam tvanantam. Human life is meant for divine austerities, and through divine austerities one can achieve Brahma Sokyam or transcendental happiness. So, if one believes in higher happiness, then it's not so difficult to make a decision that now I'm going to do some austerity. And austerity usually refers to how we fulfill our basic necessities, like excessive eating, excessive sleeping, excessive sex life, excessive defense, fearfulness. These are all impediments. So if one does these things in moderation and according to the regulations of the scriptures, then he will not be entangled. But if one tries to satisfy his senses in a sinful way and in an excessive way, then he will get entangled again in lower consciousness. Sometimes people argue, why can't I do this? Why can't I do that? I love God, but I also love meat. I love God, but I also love sex. And so what's the problem? The problem is that if you do these activities, simple activities, you get deeper, you get entangled more deeply into identification with the body. This is the law of nature. So therefore Shastra repeats again and again what is to be done, what is not to be done, what is okay to do, what is not okay to do, what will entangle us, and what will liberate us, what will bring us suffering and what will bring us happiness and pleasure. And if we are lucky to have an experience of the benefits of sacrificing sense gratification, then we have learned the trick. At the beginning of creation, Brahma asked for advice how to create. And he heard only 2 words, tapa, tapa. And 2 days ago I was walking towards the sea, and passing through these small streets which lead to the sea, I have seen a restaurant called Tapa Tapa.
They're loyal here.
So So these two words actually were told to Lord Brahma, how he can get power to create, how can he be empowered to create. So I heard that Bhaktivedanta Swami, when he was preaching in the eastern countries, in the communist countries, he wanted to be empowered, and apart from doing normal sadhana, he also did some extra austerity. He was eating only 1 carrot a day, something like that. I don't know for how long, but he wanted to do some extra austerity to get empowered, and he was definitely empowered. He distributed books to many libraries in Eastern European countries, including Yugoslavia. And these books are still there, people are reading them. It contributed to the spreading of Krishna consciousness in these countries very much. So the Lord has given clear guidelines how to become successful in devotional service, but somehow we still have a hope and try what we say, that to balance Krishna and Maya. we think we will beat the system somehow. But actually rules of success are given already. You cannot invent your own rules. The rules are already there, how to be successful. And one way to be successful is through tapasya. And now once my former wife asked one Maharaj, how can we control the tongue in relation to eating? Because prasadam is so attractive, and we have given up all other sense gratifications, so this is the only thing that is left. But we want to be more Krishna conscious, and we want to regulate the tongue, the intake of food. And he said something that just a little bit surprised me, but he said, don't worry, when you get older you will actually have a very slow digestion, and also you will lose teeth. So it was not some kind of a top-down preaching and idealistic, or saying you should do this and it's good for you to fast. But he said you will become renounced when you are forced. So in other words, he was saying that in Kali Yuga, people are not very intelligent to learn by hearing. They have to learn by mistakes, or they have to change by force. Conditioned souls ask, why should I change? Everything is okay. If you are doing what you are doing, if you continue doing what you are doing, you will continue getting what you are getting. If you want, somebody said the definition of madness is if you think that you can continue doing the same thing and get a different result. This is the definition of madness.
Yes.
So, if you don't want to change, you will remain strange. and nothing will change. Nothing changes until you change. I mean, your life will not change if you don't change. Even circumstances may change, but if you don't change, you cannot be happy. And conditioned souls have this paradigm that is, if circumstances change, if other people change, then I will be happy. So if you improve, I will be happy. I mean, yes, it's true, if you improve, I will be happy because you will be happy because I like you. This is why I will be happy. But it's not that my happiness depends on your change. My happiness doesn't depend on your change. I will be happy if I change, not if you change. And people think if I change the circumstances, then if we change the circumstances, then we will be happy. So therefore, there is three kinds of people. One group is called they should, one group is called we should, and one group is called I will. So you can choose which group you want to be in. The largest group, the most numerous group is they should.
Yes.
They should. So we want others to change. There is this cartoon, one of the best I have seen in my life. There is a leader standing at the podium and people are lower than him standing. It's like a political speech. And he asks people, who wants change? And they all raise their hand. Everybody wants change. And then next question, who wants to change? Nobody raises their hand. So this is the history of our life on this planet, conditioned life. Everybody wants others to change, but actually very few people wants to change themselves. So it's rare to meet a person who wants to change themselves, who doesn't actually care if other people will change too much. But he thinks that his main duty or her main duty is to change himself or herself. I think this is the better use of time on this planet, because it's very short time. We want to change others, but actually if we change others, they will benefit if they accept this, but we will not benefit. We might get some little credit, but God wants us to change first. God wants us to change. So these simple rules are very important to understand in life, and people just have everything backwards, and this is why they are unhappy, and this is why they are always wrong. How they think, how they act, what they expect, they are always wrong. And when you are wrong, you cannot be right. When you are wrong, you are not right. And when you are wrong, you cannot be happy. So what does it mean to be wrong? To be wrong means not to act according to God's laws. And God has given different laws. And what I wanted to speak about for the rest of this class, what time is it now? I cannot see there.
The class will be until 8:30.
Yes, but I'm asking what time is it now?
8:10.
8:10. Yeah, I cannot see it because tools is there and also the light is there. So better if you want people to finish in class, maybe better you change your clock here and put it here. Otherwise, you cannot see there. So there is the law. It's called the law of accumulation. The law of accumulation. And in the purport to the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, it's, I think, chapter 6. Oh, thank you so much. That's very helpful. Thank you. Yes. But be careful. Yes. So, there is actually description of the law of accumulation. It says that the devotee's service accumulates until it becomes mature. So whatever you do, actually it's accumulated, it's stored, it's saved on your spiritual bank account, and you get spiritual credits. And through many lifetimes we serve, and Krishna records everything. He is so kind. He records everything we do. And then at one point the service becomes mature. So the law of accumulation is there. We can see it everywhere, this law of accumulation. So imagine the egg with a little chicken inside, and one day this egg bursts. And then in the newspaper there is big titles, "The Great Breakthrough, the chicken came out of the egg and the shell broke, and there is amazing success." Many titles in the newspapers, on the media, in the internet. But from the point of view of the chicken, there was thousands of small, like thousands of small efforts to break, to push the shell and to break it. And this, when the breakthrough happened, it's only the one last step that was needed to actually do this break. So only one in a row, in a series of steps. And for people who watch from the outside, they actually think, wow, this is so amazing. This is so amazing. So somebody sent me a video of a woman, a Chinese, Korean woman, who is doing one amazing thing. You know these contests, Spain Got Talent, Spain Got Talent, Britain's Got Talent, or American Idol. So you have different contests where people show their talents, singing or acrobatics, different things. So this woman has some sticks. There is some sticks on the floor. And there is some feathers. And these sticks are light sticks. So she starts to put these sticks one on the other. And while holding these sticks, to balance them, you have to have completely calm hand. And with the left hand, she's picking up new ones and putting them on top of it. And then the whole construction, I have no idea how it stands. It stands on one stick. And these sticks, how this one stick, which is a little thicker, how this stands, I have also no idea. It's also, I think it's very difficult to balance that stick. And she finishes this, and people are fascinated how the whole construction is standing there. It maybe requires one blow to destroy it. And then what she does, the original feather, the first feather that she put, she takes it away, and then everything breaks except the middle stick.
Wow.
So it's amazing. It's really amazing how she does it. It's a miracle. She's very humble. She looks at the floor. She's like, it seems like she's appreciating some higher power in order to do that miracle. So now, when we see something like this, we may think, wow, she's so lucky. She has this ability. But actually, what she does is not an accident. This is a result of a lot of exercise, a lot of tests, a lot of trials and errors. And no success is an accident. But success is an accumulation of many small efforts over a long period of time. So therefore, I always fall down on the floor and do push-ups, and I say that the greatest success formula is daily practice. Daily practice. So how somebody becomes successful? They did a study of companies. Actually, the story of the egg is from the book called Good to Great, where they have did study of companies who were successful over the period of 50 years, not over the period of a couple of years. There is 11 companies that fulfill the criteria, very high criteria, very strict criteria, they fulfilled, that they are great companies. And so sometimes they ask them, when did you become great? And they say, sometime between 1930 and 1960. So that means over the period of 30 years, they became great, and they improved, and practice. And if somebody becomes very successful very early in life, this is also not an accident. This person have been practicing in their previous lives, something, or whatever they are expert in. So success is not an accident, there is a law of accumulation. And one area of accumulation is knowledge. You can accumulate knowledge, you can know more and more and more about certain area, which is very beneficial to know. Another area of accumulation is experience. Experience is the most valuable teacher. You can learn what works and what doesn't work. Then, you can save money. If you put little, then after it creates some kind of a field of energy, and then you maybe inspire God to give you more because He sees how much you value and how much you save. I have that experience. I took a loan so my stepdaughter can go to a Vaishnavi school. I took a big loan, and I don't know, I was supposed to pay it back over 5 years, but somehow Krishna helped me. And then even one banker showed me some tricks how to pay it off faster and save 1,000 out of 12 that I was supposed to pay. I think I have no idea how this happened. Even maybe I paid less than 12 or less than 11. I was supposed to pay 12,000 pounds. And he showed me some tricks how to take a new loan, pay back the rest of the one, and then somehow reduce. And then I got some donations unexpected also. But I was careful with every cent I got, every pound I got. Very careful. I didn't spend, irresponsibly or aimlessly. So maybe as a child you had this pig and put coins in the pig, and then you put coins, and then when you open it, then you cannot believe how much is there. It's much more than you expected. So this is also, this is very obvious accumulation of money. So the law of accumulation rules everywhere in the universe, and it's also mentioned in the Bhagavatam in relation to devotional service. And therefore, no service goes in vain, and Krishna records everything. Why? Because Krishna is very grateful for every small thing that you do. So in this way we can understand the laws of success described in the Srimad Bhagavatam, and we can follow one or many of them or all of them. We can become aware of them, we can teach them, we can apply them on a daily basis, we can share them with others. And the blueprint for success is given in the Shastra. We just need to learn it, follow it, and see the results. Thank you very much for listening. Do you have any questions?
This one question is, I don't know what it is, but at the beginning of the class you spoke about the mind. Is it the mind? Is it the super soul? I remember, I don't want to say before because it was a quick question, but now I say that Prabhupada said that because you say, for example, you are in a forest, and then you cannot check Guru and Shastra or Sadhu. You are alone. You don't have books, and there is no Vaishnavas there. So then you have your mind, and then that you have an idea what to do, no? Then is it the mind? Is it the super soul? And I think Prabhupada said in a lecture that basically what you should do in that situation, if that situation comes, you should do just the opposite of what you want to do, to make sure, because most of the time will be the mind. What you are thinking will be the mind, but you cannot ask Sadhu and Shastra. So basically you should do the opposite, no? Yeah, so you have any comment on this?
It's tricky. I think one has to use the common sense. what makes sense and why. We should learn to think intelligently, not just to have some cliche and some formula. Why you should do opposite of something that is a good idea?
Yeah. I think it's because of to get detached from your mind, no?
Yeah, but maybe it's not the mind.
Maybe it's a super soul.
Maybe the super soul is telling you so.
Yeah.
And sometimes the super soul through binds the mind too, no?
Super soul what?
Super soul pass through the mind to communicate with us. Yes? Do you understand?
I mean, you also have spiritual mind. So super soul can speak through your spiritual mind. Or if the super soul passes the mind, that means you are hearing the super soul, not the mind. But it's interesting how to deal with the mind. Something, I mean, Bhaktisiddhanta said you should beat your mind in the morning with a shoe and in the evening with a broomstick. So that's one way to deal with the mind. But if you become very strict with the mind, it may be actually counterproductive sometimes. But if you are too soft with the mind, also mind will always pull you away, because its business is to pull you away from Krishna. So there has to be some balance, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, my dear mind. Although he says, he also chastises the mind, or also questions why do you do this? But as soon as you question something, it loses power. If you accept it, just accept it blindly. Like mind says something, so, oh yeah, I have to do this, I have to now do this, what can I do? I mean, it's just my nature. When you say it's my nature, I say it's not your nature, it's your choice.
Yes.
Conscious or unconscious, it's your choice. It's not your nature. Nature is an excuse. Choice is a powerful free will. How do you use your free will? That's a powerful thing. So we are not a victim of the mind, we are a victim of our choices.
Yes.
That's a very difficult pill to swallow. Very difficult pill to swallow. That we are not a victim of anything, we are a victim of our own choices. And this is something that we need to think about very deeply and swallow it, I am responsible. I am responsible for my choices. And we are so lucky that Prabhupada gave us this choice, that you can always choose Maya or Krishna. People outside, they don't have a choice. They always have only one choice. Sometimes they think they're choosing something higher or something in goodness, but it's all material. But Prabhupada said you can choose to serve Krishna, you can choose Daivi Prakriti Mashitaha, Daivi Prakriti, Daivi Shakti, divine energy, and you can choose material or lower energy. To be under the divine energy or a lower energy. Higher energy or lower energy. I mean, all of his energies originally come from him, and in that way they are divine. In that sense they are divine. But there is a lower energy who is meant to keep the conditioned souls who want to be forgetful of him, to keep them in illusion. To keep them in illusion. Okay, yes?
Most, in my case, a very quick thing, that most of the time when I address Krishna, please help me. It's in that situation when I am, some trouble is there, you have to take a decision, you have to do, what do I do, please give me any intelligence to decide properly,
Mm-hmm.
But this is not best situation. I'd like to be more emotional in a way that you ask Krishna, you seek his advice, and you talk with him, you pray to him when not necessarily when you're in bad shape, in bad trouble, or that you want for something from him. But when I am in good, things that go kind of okay, I don't have that such a devotion on.
When you're okay, you don't pray.
Yeah, I don't. It means that I am just worried about my own sense, satisfaction. I'm not caring too much for him. That I notice. So it's not good.
And when everything is okay for you, then you should think about the welfare of others. You should think about the welfare of others, about benefiting other people. It is said in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, we read the other day, that this body and this life should be used to benefit others. There is 2-3 verses. It's Adi Lila, chapter 9, text 41 we read, and then 42, 43. They speak about the same point, that think about how to benefit others, how to become a guide of people, trusted guide, trusted friend, trusted advisor. And you will get more satisfaction from this if you start supporting others.
Can I give you one Purva Paksha?
What's that?
One counter-argument for that?
Yeah.
Or like a question?
Yes.
Like, say, I understood the philosophy to feed the stomach. No?
Uh-huh.
In Krishna first. This is how I understood the philosophy. Not too much society, friends or love, but Krishna. And then focus on Krishna, then you are nourishing the whole tree and the whole body through the stomach. So, because you are telling now, and because that it seems to be how to understand. On one way, help others, but on the other way, Krishna is the same.
But that's Krishna's instruction. You please Krishna by helping others. He asked this, his instruction. He's like in the Bhagavad Gita, he says, most dear to me is one who preaches to devotees. And preaching also includes support, not only telling them, sharing information by sharing your love, sharing your heart. Preaching is not only sharing information, preaching is also giving your support. And you have devotees around you whatever temple you are living in or serving in, you have devotees around you. You can think, how can I benefit this devotee? I mean, he's been serving for so many years. How can I appreciate him? How can I do something for him? Maybe he needs something, or she. And Krishna will be so pleased. Krishna is pleased when we serve devotees more than when we serve him. It is watering the root when you do what Krishna says. It is watering the root. This example about the root, it's more for the beginners, that they understand that they should focus on God, on the service to God. But service of God includes serving devotees and also serving the public by giving them Krishna consciousness. You don't serve the public by giving them sense gratification, you serve the public by giving them Krishna consciousness. Okay?
Yes, Prabhu. Okay.
Srila Prabhupada ki.
Good afternoon, okay.